솔라, 강민수, 스태츠, 김대영, 큐어, 김도우. 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 코드 S 쇼다운.
Welcome back, everybody. We had a very short. There's not a lot to talk about with those first two games.
It was a truly terrible series.
Yeah, it was definitely a mismatch. I thought it was going to be closer, and it was not close in any way. I mean, strategically, TY in game one way ahead of Solar, better prepped, and then Solar came in with a strategy that he executed against something that would just hold it.
Yes.
So
yes,
we speculate that he probably was hoping that TY would have a third command center inside the main. That is somewhat common, just in TVZ in general, not just for that map, but any map. But it didn't work. Solar's not eliminated, but I am worried, for his prospects of advancing here. I mean, that's
for his safety.
Yes. For his GSL soul.
Yeah.
As, I mean,
now it was brutal. It was not a good series. Don't watch it if you're just tuning in. But that's not how Solar's play looks. It's just he took a risk on one all in, and the other one,
right.
TY took a risk on him, and they both
one
worked
all
out for
in,
TY.
Completely worked. The other one absolutely
failed.
backfired.
Yeah.
So next we've got Stats versus Cure.
Okay, this is going to be a better series because it couldn't possibly be worse. Like even in my craziest thoughts of how could we make this worse? Nothing could be worse. Even if it was Cannon Rushes twice in a row, that would be more exciting than that last series. A proxy,
yeah, and it won't
main,
be Cannon Rushes twice in a row.
It could be Bunker Rushes twice in a row. All that would actually make for better games than the two we just saw. So it's gonna be a good real restart to the day.
Well, game one was pretty interesting, to be honest, in our series. The problem is that then game two was a backfired cheese, so there was almost nothing else to pull from that.
Yeah,
that
backfiring
series.
Cheese is worse than cheese working.
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
To see. And when I say backfired, I mean it completely and totally, utterly fails. Not cheese that's held. We go, okay, well, he tried.
Yeah. It's not like it was ever close. It was more like...
Yeah. He basically express delivered his army to his opponent's army that was already with superior upgrades and a better unit composition and just lost the game from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this series should be better. I want to say that I think this is going to be closer than some people would expect. Cure is looking quite strong.
Yes. Cure is really good right now. He's in excellent shape. If he could play like he plays online, then he could be a top 4 this season for sure.
Well, he's looking better and better every season we have.
Yeah.
The stats, I want to see also what type of play style is he going to deliver here as well. He's usually one of the more conservative Protoss players we have, the opposite of partying or SOS. But I think this should make for a good series. Cure also, he likes to play a more straightforward TVP, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so. He doesn't seem like he's over the edge in any way. Stats generally with the more defensive plays. I think it's going to be a good series. I'm a little bit worried about Stats. He's a little bit up and down lately. He had that one year where he was easily second to Cyril. In fact, he played Cyril everywhere basically.
Yeah.
And he was looking so good there, and I think we got really used to it. And now he's fallen down to a more realistic level in a lot of ways. He's he's actually a little bit like Zest right now, not in playstyle, but in results where it's some terms it's really good and some really not.
I think you're completely correct on that, where he looks really good, but there's no guarantee he's going to get that far. Sometimes he does.
Yeah.
But other times...
He's not just the bastion of Protoss hope, though, that he was in 2018.
Yeah.
Right? That was the year, right? That he was just the killer. Yeah.
Yeah, where he pretty much outplayed everybody into a long game, stopped whatever they were going to do, held the push, harassed, and won from there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost never cheesed. He was the guy who was proving that you can be a very reactionary Protoss player, not a Protoss player that's trying to assert control of the game constantly and dictate where it's going to go and then use that to your advantage to win. He was playing the opposite, showing that Protoss can be a pretty dynamic race. Mm-hmm. We've just been notified that there's something wrong with Stats' PC, so I think we might have to swap the PC out. which
No doubt.
usually doesn't take too much time, but
Yeah.
we've got a little bit more time to kill up here.
Okay. Well, hopefully he can get that all sorted and feel ready and comfortable to play, because you're going to have to bring your best game against Kira, who's just been really on fire online, beating kind of everybody, showing great quality of games. He's shown good games offline recently as well, but it's not like to that same level that we see online. And we do wonder if he's ever going to fulfill what he does online offline.
Yeah, he is in an interesting position being on Generic Green Wings, because that is such a powerhouse team, and as strong as of a player as he is actually overshadowed by the majority of the rest of the team.
That is true.
Minus
But
Creator.
he did leave lately, right? So
Yeah. But I mean, if you take all the people that he was playing with, it's a different spot that he's in. But it does seem like he's been performing better and better.
I wonder if that would make
in
you
live
want to
matches.
leave. Like if you feel,
I actually think it could.
because like literally the best Terran
I think
ever,
for some-
and also world champion Rogue and world champion 2-time SOS. It's like that's a hard lineup to sit behind, right?
There's two parts to this, right? There's the part where you're on a team with all these good players, and that can benefit you because of all the practice and information. But then, and this is going to sound maybe a little bit weird to some people, but I think there's some validity to it. The ego, your place, your role. If you're out, not living in the shadows of this, maybe you're not getting as much attention from coaches. You know what I'm saying? It can be better to get a fresh start.
But is
to get out there.
it better to go to an environment where there really isn't a coach, where you aren't being taken care of, you're kind of on your own?
For some, there is. And I think for others, there isn't. I think it depends on your personality. We've had periods in StarCraft history where you had to be on a team to compete.
Yeah.
But I think times have changed. I think
Yeah.
people are more connected. Pros are more connected with each other than ever before.
Yeah.
And
well, okay. Yeah. I mean,
back then you had to be on a team to get practice, and a lot of the pros were younger, and so you needed someone to kind of help out and
yeah,
get them to events.
I mean,
and emotionally coach them.
I kind of agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, Generic Green Wings has been completely dominant since Kespa disbanded. Their players are at the top of
they're like
almost
the Yankees
every
of
single
StarCraft
tournament.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except they don't even buy new players. They have this set of players,
Right.
and they have won or been at the finals of, like, I swear to God, it's so many tournaments. Like, I can go look it up later, but they have done so disproportionately well for their players that I think that it's kind of, even though we entered this, the last tournament that still had Kespa teams, Beyond one, the GSL Code S, right? And then let's not forget, actually, Rain also was teamless and won a GSL. So those were kind of in close succession, but Kespa was already kind of going down, and they were going to drop StarCraft 2. The players kind of knew it and stuff. So maybe that affected it some, but I think that Jin has proven that the team model still beats the playing at home. Even if you think that's better for you, the team model, Jin has proven it, I think, that it is better.
Well, they just have the all-star lineup for each race. Yeah, I think that's true. But we also only have that team.
Yeah.
And I guess there's not a lot. If we had a couple other teams here, it might be helpful to see how that does too. If we had teams of people that were also ranking lower and they were free agents.
Yeah.
And there's different meanings when you say team for different teams.
Well, there's one team
some
that
people
lives together and practices as a pro
There's
team.
other people that are sponsored and they're on that team and they wear that logo and they get money from those sponsors. But
that's not
you
the same.
cannot confuse that with Generic Green Wings, which, like when we have a Generic Green Wings player in here,
the
there's
coach
coaching
drives
staff.
them here.
And he's talking to them in between games. And do you need any more? You need another coffee? Let me get that for you. How are you feeling? Let's talk about what happened in that winners match that you lost. All that. But yeah, let's see how Kier does. Again, though, as interesting as the most successful players are, a lot of times I'm drawn to these players that have been overshadowed and what that's like and how does that feel and can you use that as a tool to overcome?
Yeah.
Or does this become something that actually cripples you and keeps you paralyzed in a certain state in tournaments where you can't advance?
Yeah, some people never get out of that.
It's one of the hardest things for some players to deal with is where they get the same place in a tournament over and over again, like top 8, or top 16 or top 32, and they never move past that. It's like, my God, this is like the Groundhog's Day career where I train all day, I do everything I can to improve, and I don't see any movement.
Well, Sue is the greatest example, right?
Yeah.
He got 6 GSL finals and didn't win one. Just statistically, he should have accidentally won one of those.
Yeah, no, you would think at some point in time, like, you're going to take one of them, and he actually just, he got to so many finals and then just didn't pull through. It's crazy. Anyways, guys, game 1 on Eternal Empire, Stats versus Cure, starts now.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. 아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영.
What are you giggling about, Artosis?
I was looking where he's putting his buildings. Hold on. Who's this, Tasis?
I don't know. Wait.
드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 큐어
Good thing Korean
김도.
Rainers here.
Yeah. Okay, so I was looking just on the minimap where Stats is putting his buildings to block the Reaper jump. And then I was thinking to myself, Stats is putting that there, thinking he's going to block a Reaper jump here against Cure, and then suddenly Tasia has his buildings all proxy to the top of the map and kills the pylon with the Cyclone.
That was so fun casting Tasia's games, by the way.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to see that he can play really, really well.
Yeah. He's the person I'm most excited about this year suddenly. I never thought
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I would say that in
Well,
2020.
you know, I'm always excited to see, like, when we've had DRG come down and play, I'm like, oh, cool, look at that, he's back. And, you know,
Dude, DRG is playing so well right
know,
now
I know.
online. Oh, my God.
it's exciting to see.
Hey, he made it into TSL.
By the way, this is essential for the longevity of StarCraft 2, in a sense, that we need to have players that can come back and compete. I mean, this is what's happened in StarCraft 1. We're having a mix now of old and new.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, wow, okay, well, you know, Flash is still insanely good and can win tournaments and compete.
I just want
where we still have new players also coming in, and that's what makes it so exciting, you know?
Yeah, if parting DRG, Tasia, and Bomber all do well, like, how cool is that? That is so many good memories between those 4 players.
Yeah, I think to have a healthy scene, you need to have a mixture of new and old, right? I mean, you want to have players that have had history and been around for a long time. Let's take somebody like Innovation, for instance, right? Everybody who follows any StarCraft 2 knows who Innovation is, but then when you can have new players come up as well. And we're going to be in a very interesting spot in StarCraft 2. We don't know when exactly it's going to be, but eventually all these pros have to do their military service.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, Tasia was so exciting, is he actually went and did his very early on. I think showing a lot of foresight, because now he can come back. He's still in great condition. He doesn't look slow. He doesn't look strategically unsound at all.
Thank God that some of these guys are coming back and playing really well, because we're starting to lose some fantastic players. Losing Gumiho and Hero, I feel like people haven't even realized it yet. Gumiho, Hero, and Classic are gone.
Yeah.
They are in the military. So we are not going to see them play in GSL for probably 2 years.
They're doing survival training out in the woods.
Yeah.
They're firing guns.
And those are like 3 of the most exciting, awesome players.
Yeah.
That's like 2 of our very best aggressive Protosses, and then our most creative Terran player.
Yeah.
Gone. Like,
now, let's go back even further, because there was this whole thing that happened in StarCraft 1. This is very, very early, and this is really important to state. There's a lot of pros said that they could not compete with younger players because their hands wouldn't move fast. And then there became this weird idea in Korea that at a certain age, you're no longer able to be good at StarCraft.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has now basically been completely disproven, as we have pros that are nearing 30 or in their 30s, still able to compete on TV. And in both games, people are looking fantastic, and we're having better games than ever before. But a lot of people thought, therefore, the military service for a StarCraft 1 pro would be a death sentence for your pro gaming career. You couldn't possibly come back. But I think what that really showed is that all the players that were the very best at the very early part of StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 were good for different reasons than the players that got strong later on.
There's definitely some truth to that. I want to talk more about that, but we actually have a Drilling
Yeah.
Claws.
Let's
mine
talk about this drop coming up here
and
first.
So this is like, unlike a lot of mine drops that are going to get 2 probes, this has sick potential. If you are not looking for a half of a second, you are going to lose your probe line.
Yeah. And a lot of this is about trying to draw the screen away as the drop comes in. So Drilling Claws finishes up now. Let's see if that Reaper pokes. And it looks like Stats is ready. And to be honest, I'll tell you, I feel like this is kind of, even though this can be very deadly, this is really what Stats is good at holding. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how does that medevac live? 3 kills.
Well,
Are you kidding
he's
me?
going to get a blink. Oh,
Nope.
doesn't even need it.
Okay, so 3 kills, I would say, is not enough.
Definitely would agree with that. Excuse me. Medevac and 2 mines going down, especially when you rush to Drilling Claws. Let's not forget that, right? Like, that was his choice to rush to that. So, you know, you've got the Tech Lab on. Oh, another 3.
I'm actually surprised it got that many.
Yeah. Oh, sneaks a Hellion in. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I saw the Hellion in the base earlier. I didn't realize it got over here now.
We're starting to get there as far as the worker kills go. Look at this. Kira on 50 workers against 49. Not too bad. Not too bad. A lot of gates for Stats right now.
Yeah, you know, the question really when you watch this is how much more damage. Oh, that's funny.
That was cool.
I didn't realize what was happening at first.
Yeah,
It's the obs.
Look at this. He just keeps sending out medevacs with mines in it. This is very cool to see.
Yeah, this is exciting.
It's kind of some Maru style poking its head out.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It reminds me of Maru's games where, you know, it might not be the first 2 medevacs that come in, but the third a lot of times is the one that really starts to do the damage. As sometimes Protoss will start to ease up on the defense, thinking they've held off enough drops, and now they have an opportunity to try to come out and attack. Here we go. Another drop comes in here. Stats immediately pulling the workers away. And again, 3 just seems to be the number of probes you get to kill with each drop if you're Cure.
Yeah, well, Stats is showing his speed here. Look at how many of these medevacs are going down. Like, he has lost a lot of medevacs. He's lost a lot of mines.
Yeah, this is
But if he has enough units to hold on against any attack incoming, it's still fine, right? He's actually got more workers than Stats.
that is true.
So
but
in a longer game, this has been okay.
I think one of the bigger picture things here is that he does not have that many medevacs. Oh my God! Oh, great.
Ooh, nice micro
Yeah.
from Stats.
Great control there. Yeah, you're losing a lot of medevacs and a lot of mines when you do this, so you don't have that part of your army to reinforce. One thing for the Protoss is that you're not losing army when you're holding these attacks off.
Yeah, that
You
is
don't
true.
lose a Stalker, you don't
true.
lose a Sentry, nothing like that.
Which is why you kind of have to be careful as Terran here, because if they just roll you with their army, then everything you did was for naught.
Yeah,
you need to kind of wait. You have to sit back a little bit, make sure you have enough units that they can't get you.
This is a common thing that happens in StarCraft is it looks like one person's winning because they're harassing and killing stuff, and then when an actual fight happens, you realize they actually sacrificed so much of their army to kill the opposing side's workers. Even though they slowed the opposing side down economically, there's just more stuff.
Yeah.
The other side never lost army, and we're going to see that possibly play out here as the pressure is mounting over here on the third base that is just now being planted.
An insanely good mine hit there on the Zealots.
Yeah.
Definitely softens them up quite a bit, but that army from Stats is still very, very scary. Stats is being really cautious here with his movement.
Well, he knows if he gets in at the right angle, he can kick the CC back up onto the high ground.
I feel like his opportunity to break here might be gone.
I think you might be right, Artosis. Oh, good save there. Yeah, one thing about Stats is he's usually pretty safe when he attacks in. He tends to not just attack in to bases and then lose the fight and lose the game.
Yeah.
It's why I think we generally consider him to be the most patient Protoss player there is.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really have the same type of killer instinct that some players have had in the past, like a classic or a hero that we were talking about before, right? Where they'll be like, "Nah, I can kill this," and then they'll get in there and do it. You're like, "How did they do that?" You know? That's not really the Stats way. He put some pressure on there. He backs up now.
No, Stats is incredibly conservative, but I think there's a lot that can be learned from people that approach the game like this. You know?
Yeah.
Because overall, if you watch the games, he doesn't seem to have made mistakes at all. Where a lot of other games, it can be very explosive, very back and forth. Now, Terran's going to try to push into this fourth, and it looks like Stats is just going to give it away.
Well, there's some problems going on. He just got his splash damage. He does have 4 High Templars in that Prism. See what he gets done with it.
There's actually so much here that Stats is just going to push this away. Getting a good formation really helped out here.
But this was good for Cure. You know,
Sure.
he got a cancel there on the 4th base. He traded some army for some army. Let's not forget that he's had the worker lead for basically the whole game due to his early harassment.
Well, let's see how these Storms do now. That's the big damage dealer. That's the high tech. And I think Cure actually is just going to roll from here.
Yeah, beautiful
This is
play.
just so much.
Well, 2 Archons are about to pop out. Maybe he's going to just barely push him back?
I don't
maybe
think so,
not.
man. Yeah. GG. Cure takes game 1 off of Stats.
That was really well done.
Yeah, well, you know, Cure was doing, I think, just about enough with the drops, but also Stats got down there, tried to push into the
I think
third.
he might have had a moment at the 3rd base where he could have killed off a chunk of the army of Cure, and I think he had to take that, and he didn't.
You mean when the Zealots were coming in and it like started to back up?
Yes,
and,
yes.
When I was watching that, I thought the same thing. I thought, well, if you're going to go for it, you probably need to go now, because once the CC is landed for long enough and he has enough time to set up Widow Mines, there's no easy way for the Protoss to just snipe off the Widow Mines. Not with Marine Marauder with Stim there.
Well, I think he was probably worried that there were some more Widow Mines behind, because when your Zealots go in that clump and they've already taken a mine hit, it's like, well, you'll lose everything if a couple more mines connect.
Everdream for map number 2. I think we're probably going to have, again, the same ideas coming from Stats. He is pretty thematic with his play. Again, just sort of expanding, taking a third. Nothing tends to happen with Stats before the 3rd base.
Yeah,
he takes a third.
Not too much aggression.
He's waiting for the medevacs to come in for the type of drop it may be. He wants to tech up. Cure, I don't know. I mean, Cure, he's got a good range of play, but I think he generally just also wants to play kind of the game that Stats wants to play against. Probably harass early on, try to push.
Well, I think it's. I don't think we're going to see the same opener from Cure. The Drilling Claws opener, it's not like that popular right now. You don't see it too often.
That might be a one-off, but harass in general, I think is still fine.
Yeah. Regular mine drop, perhaps. Well, we'll see. We'll see what he's got planned here. You have to be careful, though. If you go overboard with that early harassment, that's where Stats sometimes will shut it down completely. The Drilling Claws kind of add that X factor in, right, where it's very hard to shut it down completely, because they slip right into the ground. It's crazy.
Yeah, they just sink right in. And there were 3 probes killed pretty much every drop, which is not bad. Our game is now loaded up on Everdream. Stats versus Cure, game number 2 starts now.
전투 준비 완료.
What's that? Little proxy SCV going on. This might be a very quick day after we had a very long day on Wednesday.
Well, the first best of 3 we did on Wednesday was an hour and a half.
Yeah, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
The first best of 3 we did here today was, what, like 12 minutes? And it was woo-wee.
Yeah. If we were in a restaurant, I would have sent that best of 3 back, man.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, I always send my first best of 3 back.
So we have the probe looking for exactly what we're going to, well, we don't know. He's looking for a proxy. We're looking for any proxy. This appears to be the one where it's going to be barracks and then factory.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think so. But do you think the factory will be out there? Or is he going to make it at home?
I think he might make it at home, but we'll see.
I'd like to actually just see it out there, to be honest.
I would-
a reactor! Definitely making it out there.
Okay, cool.
You don't just, like, reactor and then make the factory at home, and then, like, they come and scout it and kill your reactor. You're like, oh, no.
Oh, man, that takes a long time to build.
Yeah.
There's the factory.
So, I'm guessing this will be a tank push, like marine tank?
Could be. It seems like there's a lot of different ways you could try to do this. Cyclones, maybe? Is it possible?
Yeah, you could go.
We saw that with
reactored marines
Tasia.
go well with a siege tank, right?
They do. They do. Yeah, I mean, one thing about Terran when they do this type of play is there's a lot of different combinations you could make.
That is true.
And Protoss doesn't have a lot early on, and funnily enough, we actually have a later proxy here.
Yeah.
Now, this is where things get a little bit difficult to predict as far as how the game goes, because obviously all of the army investment is over here in the middle of the map, and let's say that Protoss makes an Oracle, which I think they most certainly will.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, then, I mean, you're going to kill all the workers.
You really are going to kill
Yeah.
all the workers. Like, this is going to be one of those oracles that only stops killing because it runs out of energy.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, when you go, like, if your opponent is making an oracle and has so few gateway units, you go Marine Tank Liberator, which is what it looks like we're going to see here.
Mm-hmm.
You might just kill your opponent regardless of not having any SCVs left at home, or very few, right? That is definitely a reality.
Stats spots this, but, you know,
He's like,
this is about as late as you could have spotted it before the army just shows up, and then you get to see what's happening.
Yeah.
So the Oracle's coming. Now, keep in mind that spotting that out there, it tells you that most certainly the main is going to be negative defense, and you could probably kill a lot of workers. And that's economic damage that's going to happen basically before the push starts here from Terran. The problem is the push from Terran has the power to both destroy the defenses you have at your natural and then kill all of your buildings and end the game.
Yeah, and the Oracle won't kill that army.
Yeah,
either.
the Oracle will slow down will kill a large number of the workers, but then you've already basically made the army that you needed. So this is kind of a funny situation.
Yeah, this is where you
oh
just
my
know
God,
that,
you can just get the warp gate.
oh, if he doesn't finish warp gate, that's it.
Oh my, yeah, that's absolutely.
You have 4 units, and you're not getting more, really.
Okay, it looks like he might be able to get it done in time here. 1 energy.
Completed. Wow.
That's crazy. However, getting the Cybernetics core is also still a pretty big deal.
Yeah, he should actually pick that off. Slow Zealots are going to be about the most useless thing against this, you know?
Yeah.
And look at that. It's run out of energy.
There's a second Oracle on the way. I don't know if that has to be sent back here to try to help defend, or if you want to keep trying to kill off workers. You know, these pylons, the placement here is becoming pretty important. Oh my God, slow zealots are so garbage.
They are so bad.
Especially in a situation with a Liberator here and nothing to contest it.
This would have been hard if he went Robo at home, you know?
Yeah. GG.
Ouch.
Wow, you're just smashing stats.
Wow, what a day. Now we get Cure versus TY coming up. How quickly can that go to Otasis?
I think it's going to be a long series.
Yeah? We got to get one at least. I mean,
Yeah, I don't want... A lot of these games, there's like a back and forth that we kind of get to watch and see, you know, how the upgrades
I like two
are going.
players to like test their skill against each other. What we've seen today is a bunch of build orders. Like we wrote it down on a piece of paper. Like this build order beats that one.
We drew
and
them
this
out of
one
a hat.
beats that one, and this one beats that one.
Yeah.
And here we are, 2-0-2-0. Sick.
Kind of crazy, man. Well, I don't feel like we got to see, at least so far, Stats' full potential.
I don't think we've seen anyone's full potential at all.
Yeah, I think you're basically right. We had something close to a normal game in Game 1. We'll see what happens, though, on our next best of 3 after this short break.